Good evening and welcome to this broadcast of IUP Hockey. They are on the road against the Robert Morris University Colonials. And with some difficulties in our setup, we are upstairs and our vision is a little bit skewed. We are missing the near boards in the corners. That being said, we are both very excited to get into more divisional hockey.
Right, yeah, we always are doing our best to bring our lovely fans IUP Crimson Hawks hockey. With that, I'll introduce the starting lineups. Starting for the Crimson Hawks on left wing, Hunter Fairman centering Spencer Johnston. Right wing is number 57, Shane Miller. Playing defense, Zachary Soy and Sean Donovan. The goaltender for the Crimson Hawks, Nathan Gates. And for the Robert Morris Colonials, it's number 10, Hurst. Number 19, Rorick. Number 17, Draper. Number 24, Byrne. And number 4, Andrew Finnegan. Between the pipes is Patrick Colburn. So we're back into play here. Hawks are early in that offensive zone.
Fairman's shot was initially saved by Colburn, and Miller on the second opportunity couldn't bury it. Now he gets it back at the face-off dot. His shot is stopped by Colburn, and a stoppage just over 30 seconds into this first period. And we apologize for the lack of viewing ability in that near corner. And of course, the Crimson Hawks back on offense, and we have to expect they're going to be spending a lot of time in the offensive zone, especially considering how they came out last night.
Yeah, like you said, a tough loss against a divisional rival last night. The West Virginia Mountaineers took the Crimson Hawks a 5-4 overtime win for the Mountaineers. So certainly Crimson Hawks coming out hot against the Colonials, looking to apply as much offensive pressure as they can early into this game.
So into the IUP zone for another whistle. This one going to be icing against the Colonials. This play will come back this way. And we'll see who meets at the face-off dot. Obviously, the Colonials will keep their guys out there after the icing. Loza centering this line as the Crimson Hawks try to capitalize on an early opportunity in the opposite end.
It's going to be a tall task for the Hawks tonight. Patrick Colburn, like I mentioned earlier, between the pipes for the Colonials. He's been the backbone for this RMU squad so far this season. .916 save percentage in just 15 starts. Of course, his lone shutout shows his ability to steal games whenever, of course, the Colonials offense is unable to produce. But see if the Hawks are able to reverse that notion.
The Hawks are able to keep it in the zone here, and Rarick's shot was blocked. The rebound coming all the way out as Ziemba has another crack at it. His shot blocked to the boards. Backhanded around, and London will collect for IUP. Back out to the point, Ziemba to Hamblin. Down low, tip in, and in front, getting credit for the goal. Does that look like? I think that's Maddox Rarick, number 24 for the Hawks, the first to strike.
Yeah, like you said, 24, the second line left winger for the Crimson Hawks. Of course, getting on the board early, getting traffic in front. Eric Hambling with the point shot. It's a tough view for Patrick Colburn. Certainly a quick start for the Crimson Hawks, and one they wanted at that as well.
IUP last night had tons of production from the blue line and just started pumping pucks towards the net. They were stopped multiple times. A lot of times it was just shot blocking that really inhibited their ability. Now the Crimson Hawks convert on an early opportunity and make it 1-0 on the road. Now another shot. This time in favor of RMU, their first of the game, and it was actually heading wide. Gates stuck the glove out to glove it and get the save and whistle.
And like you said, Nathan Gates between the pipes for the Crimson Hawks. He's been the reliable number 2 so far this season for the Hawks. Of course, behind Shane Baremba, who's the goaltender in the loss last night. Nathan Gates statting a .911 save percentage. Wow.
Ooh, Jordan Adams, his rush to the net is interrupted by a takedown there. We'll see exactly where this puck is going to be placed after the whistle, but because he was the one contacting the net to head it off, I think it'll be a neutral zone draw.
Yeah, we'll see where this faceoff lands. Like you said, Jordan Adams, certainly a point producer last night, doing his work on that third line tonight with Jace Rurick and Chase Malloy back in the lineup. Him and Trent London were out last night. Of course, 2 big producers in that as well. They're back on the ice tonight.
Rurick gets the face-off win, and Dixon will clear one up the ice. It deflected in the neutral zone. So we continue to play on. Now the Colonials starting their push as moving down the middle and moving it to the far side. As Moran takes it and swings one this way. On the way back up, Dobransky actually stepped off the puck. He could have kept it in for the Colonials. IUP controls in their own end, trying to get it out. Donovan with a tie up along the boards. Back around for Dixon to claim that puck. And now a shot block. Malloy coming away with possession. Still unable to get out of the zone, the Crimson Hawks are. It's Chase Malloy moving this way. Just as the coaches said during Coach's Corner, returning to the lineup after missing the game last night. One of several players back activated for IUP. As it is tipped into the neutral zone. Now another opportunity sent all the way into the IUP zone. Donovan's pass up ice finds the skates of Hoffman, and Wild will send one in behind the net. This is a new look for this line that was pretty productive last night. A different look for the forward group.
And like you said, Nathan Miola scratched tonight, had a goal of his own in that fourth line. A lot of aggressive forecheckers. Of course, Caleb Hoffman, Richard Wild out there tonight. Jeffrey Boker, 2 goals for him last night as well. Of course, they both came from that aggressive play on the forecheck.
Big collision there in the neutral zone. IUP gives up possession in their own end. Sent into the middle. Gates plays aggressive and got the pad in there to kick that one away. Now Richard Wild moving up ice. He takes a shot. His shot is blocked by Finnegan in front. And a tie up in front of the net as possession goes over in favor of the Colonials. Fairman steps up on the play, draws the turnover. Johnston will play it back to the defense for a line change on IUP's part. Fresh off the bench, moving up ice, Shane Miller, and he's stopped by an offsides whistle. IUP just a little too jumpy getting into the zone, but they still have that 1-0 lead that they like to nurse in that first period.
Yeah, like you said, we saw that initial rush stopped by that first defensive pairing. Of course, Robert Byrne and Andrew Finnegan, both big in stature and certainly going to play a huge role in this game as they're standing up their man so far as they've tried to enter their offensive zone.
Yeah, those defenders have already been out there for multiple shifts this game, and they'll have to remain out there as the puck goes back into their zone for a defensive zone draw off the icing against the Colonials. Now just off screen, Johnston in the face-off dot. It goes the Colonials' way, actually, but they will clear it up. And in the neutral zone, a bouncing puck swatted back in to the offensive zone. Johnston playing aggressive. Now into the middle. Atsinante sends one around the net. He's able to find the forward on the other side, but Ziemba steps up and reclaims possession back. Now the long pass through the neutral zone heads into the Colonials' end. It's going to be icing against IUP with 5:15:02 to go in the first period.
I'm not sure about you, Alex, but after that first initial goal, it seems like a lot of neutral zone hockey. Certainly, Colonials put on their heels early, and they're looking to kickstart that offensive pressure that, of course, we know they have back down to their side of the ice.
So now on the near side of the rink, this Olympic-sized rink at that. Definitely not helping the wide angle that we can't necessarily obtain. Now Fairman into screen, takes a shot, and this shot goes over the net. There's a block in front. Now back up ice to the far side, into the middle, and the shot goes wide of the net. I think he was looking for the tip in front, but no dice. Now Shane Miller causing problems here. 2 poke checks. He's able to get possession back to IUP. All they can do is clear, though, at the end of their shift. Loza chasing this puck into the Colonial zone. Able to force the almost turnover there. The defender stepped in to keep play alive for the Colonials. Rurick trying to do his part at the blue line. And it comes back into the IUP zone. Running to the inside. Charamonte was denied his tip pass, or pass to the point. Ended up being tipped wide as they'll regroup there. Bransky's pass now intercepted by Dixon, who will send it back to the red line. And now it's sauced into the IUP zone. Sala trying to catch up to this puck. He'll get there first, but he receives a hit in the corner. Great poke check there by Maddox Rearick to poke it away, and now he has it almost on his stick. He was up there with Trent London, who will stand in front of the net waiting for that puck. Said it's behind. And now Finnegan trying to do some work. He'll give it off. Now Walker all the way up ice from his own end will just bounce one in front. Nobody there as the Colonials mid-line change. Now reinforcements arrive as they send it deeper into the IUP zone. Oberg behind the net was stripped of the puck. And Soy on the backhander will find Donovan on the near side, who will try to move it up ice. The IUP forward group already getting up there. Of course, the puck not making it past the blue line once again.
And you mentioned that although the Colonials have tested Gates a couple of times in their own offensive zone, of course, they've been unable to really establish themselves completely and set up their offense. Like you said, the strong defensive core for the Hawks doing their part here early in the first tonight.
And they'll have to skate into their own zone once more. It'll be Ziemba, the right defender, getting into Hambling. Will move it up ice, and a beautiful touch pass from Malloy finds Chase Rearick into the zone, dancing in, and it's saved into the near side. Malloy keeps it in at the blue line. Another opportunity, and that one padded to the corner. Crimson Hawks targeting that blocker side of Colburn. He has been up to the challenge so far, especially on that last rush. Now into the middle, a miscommunication. Adams takes over with possession. He drops it off at the blue line, but it will be offside once again against IUP. At least a whistle.
And we saw that last sort of offensive surge for the Crimson Hawks. Saw that 2-on-1 opportunity snuffed away by Colburn, like you mentioned. Certainly looking to be the spark plug for Crimson Hawks offense and maintain the puck in their offensive zone as often as possible.
Ziemba taking that puck deep. His shot goes over the net and into the corner. Now a chance for the Colonials to clear. If they can get possession back, they will. And off the boards, as far as the blue line, now this way the puck comes. Asenante once more on the ice. He's taken down but drops the puck for an opportunity. Wild intercepts it, sends it forward for Boker, who will get a piece of it into the zone. It's passed around the defenseman for a little bit as the Colonials regroup. IUP also taking advantage with a line change of their own. Sala with the puck. Tried to get one off the boards, but not having any of it as Moran stepped up to deny it. The second opportunity finds its way through the neutral zone. Nobody there for the Hawks to control. Now Burkett up to play this one outside of the blue line. Trying to lead on Shane Miller in the corner. And now a scrum in the corner boards. We'll see which way possession goes coming out of this. This is an impossible angle. Josh, do you have better eyes on it?
Not really. We see it kind of jar loose there. It looked like it was Boker, Rearick, and Miller. Excuse me, Boker, Fairman, and Miller that were down in that corner. They got it out and looking to set up here again.
And Fairman now dancing around the face-off dot, sends one through. Found its way through traffic. It will be flipped up. Glove down by Fairman at the red line. Trying to progress it forward. Miller in the area. And Sala will backhand one on the right wing. All the way down for Finnegan to control for the Colonials. Now another scrum in the corner as the Crimson Hawks forechecking, causing a lot of problems in that area. And RMU have just not been able to progress it up ice easily in that area.
Yeah, we saw that sort of be an issue for the Hawks last night. They were sort of getting out hustled and getting beat to the 50-50 pucks. Certainly there has to be some of the talk in the room with the coaching staff, Dom Glavich, and of course Joe Honzo at the helm of this squad. Looking to, of course, win those 50-50 battles and out hustle the Colonials.
Fairman drops it for Johnston. His shot wide open, patted away. And the rebound all the way through the neutral zone. Back up ice is Hurst. Makes a move, trying to cut to the outside. He reclaims possession behind the net. grabbing a stick in the process. Out as far as the blue line, and the point shot goes wide. Man in front trying to tip it in. Gates there giving him a shove, making sure he stays out of his territory. Now the pile up in the corner. Hambling comes away with it. Fairman on the left wing. Has options down the middle. We'll see what he does. Finds Loza, and the puck taken immediately off his stick. And Colburn will settle the rolling puck.
And like you said, Hunter Fairman on that left wing. We've seen some line movements since, of course, we saw you guys last night on that second line here tonight. Excuse me, on the first line, Spencer Johnson, Hunter Fairman, and Shane Miller typically centering that group. Matthew Loza, he dropped down to the second line, centering Maddox Rearick and Trent London tonight. See what kind of matchups, of course, they have the advantage on against the Colonials.
Backhanded into the IUP zone. Dixon evades a man as he enters. The backhand opportunity denied by the glove of Gates. As he played perfect positioning to stay in front of that shot. Very close in off a weird bounce from the corner.
Yeah, we're going to get a defensive zone draw here for the Crimson Hawks. It's sort of the first time that the Colonials have really been in that zone for a while. They're looking to win that faceoff, are unable to. Matthew Loza will be the winner of that one, and the Hawks look to push it back down the other side of the ice.
And a backhander by Salo will go all the way down. It'll bring the faceoff back to the IUP zone. With officially 8:29 to go in the first period. Reminder, IUP already up one goal, but since then, neither team has really been able to connect on a lot of their passes in either end.
And we saw that was also one of the problems last night that, of course, led to the loss for the Crimson Hawks, having a lot of trouble connecting passes, especially in the neutral zone.
Now this one through the neutral zone into the O-zone as Maddox Rearick's shot goes over the shoulder and wide. So he got that one off the rush. And again, while we're comparing to last night, it's very similar to Boker's goal where he had it wide open, elected for the shot, and just absolutely blew everyone away with the accuracy on it off the rush.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that certainly typically chooses to pass on that situation. He's finding his offensive groove. He had 2 last night, 1 the weekend before. Certainly starting to find the back of the net.
And IUP has to be preaching to stay aggressive on those opportunities. You're not going to win if you're not getting pucks on net. Too many times you've seen this season not getting enough shots on. That has not been a problem since the start of the spring semester games. Donovan from the point sends one down. Soy trying for the deflection in front. Malloy able to clap one back into the zone. And that's where it will stay as the Colonials progress it further up ice. This way the puck comes. Holberg's chance into the middle is broken up. A stick by Gates keeps it away from the crease. And Adams will control it on the right wing. And he'll take the chance to send it all the way down. 7 minutes to go in the period. And the Colonials start things up from there on in once again.
Yeah, we saw a very mature hockey play, of course, from the defenseman Sean Donovan on that last rush by the Colonials. Elected to slide and take away that passing lane. Of course, forced him to slide it up the middle and gave Nathan Gates a better chance on that initial shot.
Yeah, IUP learned last night that one of the keys to shutting down any offense is really just getting in the passing lanes. They excelled in interceptions in the first period. Now in the first period tonight, they are starting to find their groove as into the zone with the shot was Ziemba. Hambling keeps it in at the blue line, sent back down into the IUP zone. A foot race for the puck now. Asanante in the corner against Hambling. Hambling coming away with the puck and plenty of space. You don't normally see scrums dissipate that fast. It'll find Boker, who will direct one onto the net from the center ice region. And it'll be another stoppage, this time with 6:02 to go in the period.
And, of course, the Hawks will use this opportunity to get a line change. That top line heading out for the forwards. Shane Miller, Spencer Johnson, Hunter Fairman, and, of course, backing them, Evan Sala and Spencer Dixon.
The faceoff goes in favor of the Colonials. It's passed around to the far side. Moran trying to direct it forward. Instead, he'll bring it back to his defense. Now the right wingers trying to progress it up ice. And this is another line for IUP that excels in the forecheck. It caused problems earlier in the period. Now a struggle for RMU to get out of the zone. Finally able to find Asanante moving up ice. His shot blocked by Gates. The rebound poked away by Sela. IUP's defense playing very well on the rebounds that are given up, as they have just gotten them away from danger as soon as possible.
Yeah, great poke check by Evan Sala in the middle of the ice there. Certainly, like you said, swatting that puck away and, of course, snuffing out the opportunity that the Colonials had. Golden opportunity at that as well.
Now to the far side. He'll come this way. Sala with another pick there. He uses his stick to get in the lane. Delayed on his way into the zone. And so with 5:03 to go in the period, another stoppage and offsides against IUP.
And we'll see who heads out for the Crimson Hawks. It's going to be that second line, backed by Donovan and Soy. Of course, Matthew Loza centering Trent London and Maddox Drake, like I mentioned earlier. Going to look to push that offense back down, get the puck in deep, like they did there. Of course, Patrick Colburn being aggressive and playing it behind his own net.
This clear does find its way down into the IUP zone. Timed perfectly as to not get the icing, and Loza got a piece of it into the zone. Finnegan as well. And so it's a fair ball in the corner as it's redirected this way. Keeping it alive, send it to Loza off the stick of London, I should say. And Loza's shot finds iron, comes back to him. And London will check in the corner. Intercepted by Maddox Rierick at the point. London makes a nice play to find Loza. He had the opportunity on the backhander, elects for the pass to Maddox Rierick. Now the tip in front attempted as he was trying to find London, who had a wide open net, but sent it wide.
And we see the net hop off of its moorings there, and certainly could not have been at a better time for the Colonials. That second line connecting really well, nearing the end of their shift. They head off now. Third line will head out and, of course, look to maintain that offensive pressure in their own zone.
Now, I like that last line because of the creativity that Loza, Rierick bring to the table and the presence that London has in front of the net. He can tip in, but of course you can't go without talking about the creativity of the line below them. Rierick on the board. Jace Rierick this time, as he is accompanied by his line mates in Chase Beloy and Jordan Adams to the bench. And this is a line that certainly knows how to get the puck in the back of the net.
Yeah, super gritty, super aggressive line. Of course, we know Jace Rierick has been sort of that setup specialist so far this year. Marks 22 assists in 20 games. 22 assists in 20 games, and that will mark his fourth goal of the year. Certainly we know he has that offensive ability, but he's been playing a little bit more on the setup.
Now the pass goes off in a low shot, patted away by Gates to the near corner. Contact in the corner as Adams able to jar that one loose. Now off the boards to the far side. Soy will direct one up. Malloy off the boards, able to find Jace Rierick with a beautiful spin move. He'll backhand one into the middle. Adams fans on the shot. His second attempt patted away, just inches away, but the toe got a piece of it of Colburn.
And he sort of fanned on that first shot, but definitely almost worked in his favor. Opened up that left post, but Colburn was able to get there in time.
Now a turnover goes against IUP as the Colonials still have possession in the zone. Huge hit by Ziemba, jars the puck loose, and Jace Rierick will bring it up. 2-0 Hawks, and they're certainly still looking to get one more before the end of it, the remaining 3 minutes. Into the middle, intercepted and backhanded into the IUP end. A foot race for it, the tired defenseman out there, not able to get in front of the forward. And the rebound to the boards where Caleb Hoffman will control behind the net. Now back to Hambling in the same region. Able to give it up to Wild. We'll see if he got a piece of it. The referee says he did. And so no icing against IUP. We play on. Boker keeping it in at the line, and a extra whack afterwards as he was unable to keep possession for IUP. 2.5 that's sent into the IUP defensive zone.
And we see that fourth line, of course, doing their job as they always do, keeping the Colonials as far into their own zone as possible. Do a great job disrupting play and blocking up those passing lanes. Jeffrey Boker in there now. I know he does a great job at that as well.
Sela to the corner, leading the stick check and getting the puck off, but in doing so, A penalty called, tripping. The call against Evan Sala. He will sit for 2 minutes. And the Hawks will go to the PPC penalty kill.
Yeah, like you said, PPC penalty kill, first time of the night. Certainly, Crimson Hawks, no stranger to being shorthanded. A great penalty killing team, though. 76.8% so far this year. We look at the power play percentage for the Robert Morris Colonials. They sit at 25.6%. So certainly two heavyweights in their respective categories heading at it. With just 2 minutes to go, exactly the same amount of time on the game clock and the penalty clock. So this penalty will run out towards the end of the period. And we'll see, of course, which squad comes out on top on their respective special teams.
The clock's set. 1:45 to go in the period. Like you said, mirroring the time on the power play. One-timer in front, Gates up to the challenge. So he had to be ready for that quick shot after that short pass.
Yeah, Keith Reed, of course, in that first unit for the Colonials, quick wrister, point-blank opportunity. Like you said, Nathan Gates was able to see it all the way through. 1:37 remains on the game clock and the penalty clock.
Face-off goes in IUP's favor. But a toss-up puck in the corner. Fairman will wrap up his man and allow for the clear through the neutral zone. Taking it is Hurst. So he moves across the red line into the IUP end. A backhander into the middle is blocked by the skates of Donovan, and Fairman playing aggressive as ever. Got possession back, couldn't get it out of the zone. The second attempt on the poke does find its way out. Saw Spencer Johnson start to skate up ice, and it almost looked like a shorthanded bid.
Yeah, of course. You know the Crimson Hawks have notched a couple of shorthanded goals so far this season. Definitely not their game plan here, I would assume. Just looking to head into the first intermission, keeping the score where it's at, and come out in the second and nurture that 2-0 lead.
Hey, if the Colonials give him the opportunity, I can't blame him for bringing it down. We saw a lot more aggression from the penalty killers on the forecheck in the opposite zone last night. And I think your observation standing true as they wait back in their zone, waiting for the Colonials' attack, as they have had answers throughout this first period. Hambling tried to settle that in the corner, comes out to Hurst at the point. His shot deflects in front. The second opportunity deflects wide. Gates may have gotten a piece of it, but he's going to have to stand up again as a one-timer is denied right near the end of the period. That being said, a whistle, and it looks like there might be another penalty called before the first period's out.
Yeah, another dangerous opportunity shut down by Nathan Gates. You saw that top forward, number 19, Devin Rorick, out in front. Of course, Gates corralled the puck, notched it all the way in. 7 seconds remain on the clock. Another Crimson Hawk heading to the penalty box. 2 minutes on penalty clock. So it looks like the Hawks will remain shorthanded when they come back from the first intermission.
So both teams into the face-off dot. Again, 5-on-3 just for the remainder of this period. Hawks doing their best to tie up, and Jace Rurick with the clear down will do it for the second period. So the Ruricks on the board, each of them with a goal, and it brings us to a 2-0 end of the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, certainly a great first period for the Hawks. Like we mentioned earlier, a loss last night to conference rival West Virginia Mountaineers. Come back out in the first. Full head of steam, 2-0 the score. So we head back into the first intermission. We'll be back for the second.
And the Hawks will be back for the second period, shorthanded, 5-on-4 action. When we come up, we'll see, or come back, we'll see if the PPC penalty kill can stay on their game in the second frame of action. We'll see you then. hockey. And we are back live from Robert Morris University. The Island Ice Complex is in full effect as both teams have come out in the first period, shown a good show. Of course, the Crimson Hawks coming away with the 2-0 lead, and that is where we sit as they trot out there shorthanded to start the second.
Yeah, like you mentioned, the Crimson Hawks coming back shorthanded. They killed off the first penalty that was assessed to them in the remaining 2 minutes, but like you said, the last 7 seconds of the period, another one was assessed. 1:53 into the second period will be shorthanded for the Crimson Hawks. The first unit out there, of course, Hunter Fairman, Zachary Soy, the captain, Sean Donovan, and Spencer Johnston.
And the Colonials win the opening draw of this second period as they moved into the IUP zone, sending it this way. Wrap-around attempt and a hit in the corner. See where this scrum comes from. Or comes out to. And we apologize for the viewing experience. Unable to completely get those near boards in the corners. And of course, play starting to gravitate in that direction. We're still happy to bring it. Johnston's clear, finds its way all the way down the ice, where the starting netminder Patrick Colburn will play it. The defender coming back, Devin Rorick. Rorick, a top scorer on this team as he moves into the zone, gets it to the left wing. Gates was ready for the shot, but never saw it come through. Back out to the point. As they play with it here, Hurst down low, and the one-time opportunity to flex high into the air. It's controlled, but a whistle will stop play there.
A high-intensity opportunity at that. In close, like you said, Nathan Gates stopped the initial shot from point-blank range, popped up above. But looks like high stick will be the call as there's a couple of guys swatting at it. And we'll get a defensive zone draw, that is, for the Crimson Hawks.
And Walker's opportunity ended up over top of the net. And the Colonials do get possession off the draw, so they'll continue to pour the pressure on. Just over 40 seconds to go on their power play. Hurst, his shot blocked by Boker as he is ailing out there in center ice in the slot area. As he kicks it to his skate, gets it to the far side. The pass in front is deflected back. And now playing with it here is Rorick. In the zone, he is checked. And now the puck poked off, but Rorick maintaining possession still. Trotting around the blue line. Gives it off to the captain. Back out. Hurst pass to Rorick. Couldn't find its way. The Hawks got in the lane, and with 3 seconds on the PPC penalty kill, another successful one for IUP.
Yeah, fantastic job by that last unit. We saw a couple of block shots. Like you said, Jeffrey Boker, one of them there. They kept the play on the outside. As the penalty killers do, excuse me. Of course, we're back to 5-on-5 hockey.
A fan shot in the corner. Still possession in favor of the Colonials in the offensive zone. The Hawks finding a way out now. As moving up the near side with it is Sela. In the zone, out of the penalty box from that penalty in the second period. The pass into the middle, unsuccessful. Sela, another opportunity on the backhand to try to get it into the zone. It stays in the neutral end. And now all the way into the Hawks' end.
Of course, the Crimson Hawks killing off that penalty, looking to kickstart their offense back down to the other side of the ice. They scored 2 in that first period, both Rierick brothers. That rush is going to be whistled down for offsides. Right on cue, of course, Maddox Rierick, a little jumpy. Scored 1 earlier in the first and looking to add more.
Oh, you got to have that aggressive play if you're going to have a knack for the net. And that line has certainly proved it. Of course, another offside in the neutral zone just about 3 minutes into this second period of play. Off the boards, a weird bounce finds its way to Malloy. Now to the far side, Rierick. To the point. Donovan back to Jace Rierick. Dancing in, takes the shot, and it whistles past and into the back of the net. Jace Rierick with his second of the game, straight of the game, I should say. And he makes it 3-0 as he enters screen now.
25 has been on a heater as of late. That makes it 6 goals for him on the season. 28 points, and certainly climbing the team ranks, you could say, in points. But advances the score 3-0.
As the scoring graphic gets back up there, we resume play as it goes back into the IUP zone after a Crimson Hawk face-off win. And now play in the corner, coming out in favor of RMU. Dancing inside and taking the shot was Rourke, but he was denied to the corner. Now from the point, sent down, blockered away by Gates as the defender was bodied off, and Malloy cleans it up, moving it forward to Soy, now off the boards into the Colonials' end. Rourke drives his man to the boards. Adams there as well, trying to get possession, but it's Malloy throwing the shoulder and ultimately getting possession to the Crimson Hawks. Malloy back into the middle, nobody home, and intercepting it, and trying to look forward. He's one of the captains of this team, and the Soldies' attempt finds its way to the neutral zone where Adams will control for IUP.
Yeah, this is the type of offense, of course, the Crimson Hawks look to apply on any team that they face. Of course, they did their job in the first period, applying some more here in the second.
Now the puck goes back into the Colonials' end. A wipeout here and a turnover forced as Miller has it behind the net. Shane Miller finds Fairman for the quick shot. His shot blockered up into the netting for a stoppage. And with this stoppage, looks like that line will stay out there, including, of course, Shane Miller, who had that clutch tying goal last night with 5.1 seconds to go in the third period. He is one of those players just pushing for the net. It was an awesome game last night. It was unfortunate we couldn't live stream it, with the internet being down at the location. We're back online, and of course that video can be found on the IUP YouTube channel in high definition.
Yeah, like you said, that first line of offense looking to get started back up again. Shane Miller has been sort of a offensive catalyst as he slides that across the puck or across the ice looking for Hunter Fairman. But one of the top-ranked forwards in all of the ACHA, certainly a point producer and a huge role being played for the Crimson Hawks this year.
Yeah, he leads the way in that category, which is especially exceptional when you realize the Crimson Hawks have played 3 to 4 less games than the rest of their opponents in the division. This shot sent down, glove down. Now Finnegan from his own end will send it forward. And the pass by Moran is intercepted by Sela and sent back in. Finnegan takes it from the goaltender, settled. And it comes this way. Contact there. And now foot race for the puck into the zone. Walker in the area going against Dixon. And the pass unable to find its target. Now some traffic as the puck tried to exit the area. Pass in front blocked by Sela there at the side of the net. Finnegan's shot finds its way through, and he looks skyward after that opportunity. Saw some daylight in the 5-hole region. Nathan Gates somehow kept it out.
Like you said, that 5-hole was open on the slide. He was, of course, trying to stop the initial trajectory that shot had. It was hunting for the 5-hole, but of course he stopped it up right in time, keeps the score where it's at. Like you said, Finnegan certainly wants that opportunity back.
Now off the boards, it finds Hoffman, and a huge hit by Finnegan at the red line is going to draw a penalty. Now that pass, I don't believe, deflected into the zone. This could be icing, resulting in a neutral zone draw on the penalty. Either way, the Colonials going to lose one of their core members of their defense.
Yeah, huge open ice hit. Of course, delivering that hit, Andrew Finnegan, huge in stature. On the receiving end, Richard Wild seemed to get up quick. It's always a good sight. Like you said, the Colonials will be down a man for 2 minutes. Of course, we'll see if the Crimson Hawks can capitalize on this odd man opportunity.
The PPC power play, powered by Reladine, back out there for the Crimson Hawks. It's sent all the way down. Gates controls it there. This is the first man opportunity for the Crimson Hawks, right?
I do believe so, yeah. They're the CHMA leaders, that is, in power play percentage, just north of 28% among their CHMA rivals. And they'll look to add to that percentage. You look to the other side of the ice, the Colonials are 70.8% on the penalty kill. Again, two powerhouses in their respective categories, and they'll go at it here for the remaining minute 25 in the power play.
Johnston in the corner finds Hambling. From inside the slot, his shot goes high and wide. Off the glass to the stick of Ziemba. Stepping up, elects for the pass. London sends one in front. It trickled through the blue paint, but nobody there to bank it home. Now Rierick from behind the net. Coming out from the goal line, around the face-off dot, into the high slot. Thinking about the shot, and that's 3. Jace Rierick with a hat-trick goal on the power play. And IUP rolling now in the second period. 2 goals to start off the second.
If you're hot, and Jace Rierick certainly is hot indeed. A second period hat trick, that is, 3 goals. That marks his 7th goal of the season. He's definitely feeling it. Advances the score 4-0. And so far, the scoring sheet has been all Rierick brothers. Of course, they're going to look to maintain that as we go through the game.
The Colonials have faced off against the hat-trick Hawks this season. Of course, we looked at the past record, and that was when Loza scored his 3 goals against RMU on IUP's ice. Now, Jace Rierick stepping up with his shot, really showcasing it in front of all. And now the Crimson Hawks, to a 4-0 advantage, take control of this hockey game.
That was quite the start for Matthew Loza, wasn't it? That was his debut game as a Crimson Hawk. Certainly getting his name out there for the Hawks fans, a 3-goal night. But it's been all Rierick so far.
Yeah, I like that term, right? Maddox Rierick opened the scoring, and since then, Jace Rierick, the alternate captain, netting 3 of his own. It brings us to the 4-0 scoreline we sit at now with 12.5 to go in the period. IUP starting things up in the neutral zone. Once again, an offside will stop the rush, and they'll come back to the blue line. Well, I think this score is very indicative of something that the coaches talked about earlier in Coach's Corner, and that is the Crimson Hawks have been ranked as the 8th best ACHA college hockey program in the nation.
Yeah, of course, definitely a rewarding stat at that. You know, that takes into account national championships, conference appearances, all those extra statistics. What? Are up there with the big dogs, as they mentioned, Ohio University, Minot State, all those big dogs, and they're 8th in the nation.
Yeah, their record standing out most as really since head coach Joe Hanzo and Tom Glavich took over the coaching responsibilities for the Crimson Hawks. They've experienced a ton of success, and this game is certainly an extension of that. Now from behind the net, Finnegan will move one this way, and the attempted interception by Maddox Rierick just a little bit off the mark. And so into the zone they go. Rorick gets it to the near corner, and play goes the other way. Maddox Rierick chasing this puck into the zone against Finnegan, who will control for the Colonials.
I love that little dive by Maddox Rierick. Really shows, of course, the mentality of the entire Hawks team. They play with a lot of hustle and a lot of grit. Only a second period, and he's laying his body on the line just to keep it in the zone and obtain that pressure in the O-zone.
And now the pressure still on as Adams had a beautiful dissection in the corner, but couldn't find Rierick, who is looking for goal number 4. Donovan with the nice stick check in the corner, able to direct the puck this way. And now it comes into the middle, a great poke check by Donovan to keep that away from danger as it found its way all the way to the neutral zone. And now he'll collect for IUP. But I think that defensive soundedness is exactly how the Crimson Hawks amass such a lead.
Yeah, of course, we know the Crimson Hawks defensive core has played a huge role in a lot of their wins this year. They stand tall on the blue line and every opportunity that they have, of course, doing their part here as well tonight.
Yeah, when the offense is on the money, more often than not, the defense is there to support it, as they'll have to do it again here, but perfectly breaking up that play and getting possession back behind the net. Now possession coming over. It stayed in by Finnegan at the blue line. Shot sent in, saved by Gates. And now Malloy with some ice ahead of him. He'll take the left wing opening. Looking into the middle, tried to find Rierick, but the bouncing puck found its way on Colburn. We'll have to glove it down for a stop, as we're exactly halfway through this hockey game.
See, I like what you said there about the defensive core. Of course, when the offense is not there, they're always there to back them up. They provide stability, and even on that last rush, play was started by Eric Hambling, and of course, had that sort of surprise opportunity on Colburn. But, of course, the Hawks, even their defensemen, can put the puck in the net when they want to. Of course, Kyle Ziemba, 14 points this year. Spencer Dixon also in that category with a couple of assists. Like you said, they always step up against the high-powered opponents.
Yeah, it's crazy what you can do when you have a stable defense and it enables the creativity of the forwards. The Crimson Hawks try to continue to replicate this behind the net. Another turnover forced, but it goes the other way. Holding on, sending it to the middle. The quick shot goes wide. That was off the stick quickly. Now along the boards, a nice tip by Hambling, but it couldn't find its way out of the zone. Ziemba back to it. Bouncing puck controlled by Fairman, and a saucer pass will be sent this way to Miller. More of a lob, but it's in the corner now. As Shane has it there. Miller sees his options. He leaves it, and still play in the corner. Fairman tried to find his way around. The puck hit the referee, and it stays there. Now at the blue line, Finnegan hammered along the glass. And Fairman gets possession back, moving up. He has Miller with him, looks for the shot, and the rebound comes down on Fairman's side. Man taken to the corner. Fairman hit as well just off screen, and now there's a scrum going on. We can see it from here. I don't know if the camera can pick it up. And it's sent into the IUP zone where Gates will cover for a whistle, and we'll see if any discipline handed out from the extracurriculars in the corner. There is a linesman there assessing the damage.
Like you said, Garrett Walker for the Colonials and Hunter Fairman are the ones exchanging words in the corner. But nobody will head to the penalty box as they're escorted to their respective benches. But certainly the intensity starting to spill over in this game. We saw that push sort of started by that hit on the center line by Spencer Johnson. He cut his man in half and certainly pushed the puck down the other direction, and physicality arose from there.
Yeah, Robert Morris University has been known to bring the physicality against the Hawks. Now we'll see if this game goes either way or if they can use it to try to stay in it. As Wild comes away with the puck, giving it to Boker into the zone. Now into the middle, deflected puck, and trying for the backhander was Caleb Hoffman, who was in the area. Now the other way. A chance for Hurst. He cuts into the net, poked away by Gates. Also a great defensive play by Dixon to keep the forward to the outside. And now the puck loose in favor of the Colonials. Back out to the point. His shot blocked. And the rebound from it was directed over top of the net. Gates with the save.
And as you mentioned, great defensive play, like you said, Spencer Dixon in their own zone. I'd like to highlight down on the other side of the ice on the great back check by top forward Keith Reed, number 8. Of course, tied up Caleb Hoffman on that golden opportunity. Looked like pretty wide open net on that backhand opportunity. But, like I mentioned, Keith Reed on the back check was able to lift Hoffman's stick, disrupt that opportunity.
Yeah, Hoffman just has a knack for getting in the right area. In the past couple games, he's just lacked the finish, but overall as a player, he's certainly handy in the offensive end. Grant London also doing work in the offensive zone as puck redirects to Loza. His shot well wide. Soy trying to keep it in at the point, unable to. Loses an edge on his way to the puck, but still keeps it alive. Bouncing puck beautifully touched by Loza to get it into the zone. And now the backhander gets as far as the red line before Donovan controls, leaving it for Maddox Rurick, and he finds the open man, Trent London, on the far side. London into the slot, sending it this way. Perfect pass to Loza, and his shot goes wide. Nice reverse hit there by Donovan against the boards, and the backhander into the slot by Loza was denied. Now on the near boards, contact for the puck. Loza comes away with possession, tried to find London, and unable to do so. Ziemba off the bench, able to evade one hit. Now Maddox Rurick firing one in from the point, well wide of the net, as he just tried to get the rest of his line off. Tried for the reverse hit there, unsuccessful, and the puck moved up ice. Glove down by Gates off the rush.
I got a little excited up there. I saw Eric Hambling lining up that hit from what seemed like the center ice logo. Of course, he missed it a little bit. But like I mentioned earlier, physicality certainly is going to play a role later in, of course, the second period and, of course, the third as well, as a lot of the forwards start to lose some of their energy, start to lose their legs in the third. Physicality is the only option.
You can see it. It's Rarick in the face-off dot for IUP. The Crimson Hawks do get the face-off win and try to move it forward. Adams gets the stick of Malloy from his own end. Press back into the IUP zone. Gates trying to settle it. He needs to get back in the crease as the puck rolls out in front. And there's the responsible defenseman, Eric Hambling, to take possession up ice. Beautiful spin move trying to backhand one into the slot. It goes wide, and a whistle will stop play.
Of course, we have seen that signature spin move from Eric Hambling plenty of times this season. He showed it off there deep in the offensive zone, looking for that connecting feed on the far post. But the Colonials defenseman had a say otherwise.
So the whistle that stopped play also brings possession out of the zone. And so another face-off opportunity here. Just over 6 minutes to play in the second period. IUP with 2 goals in this frame, bringing us to the 4-0 lead we have now. The goal scorer there, Rarick giving it out to the point. Burkett goes back down low. Now to Salo with wide open opportunity. Kick to the corner. Jace Rarick controls once more. Off to Malloy. Back to Jace Rarick. Moving in from the point. His shot deflects high and into the safety netting. Officially remaining 5:33 in the period.
This is the great zone time, of course, that the Hawks want to replicate every time they're out there. 5-on-5 started to seem like what felt like 5-on-4. They were cycling the puck really well, connecting, of course, on those basic passes that need to be made to open up shooting lanes.
So Rarick in the face-off dot, going up against Reed. Reed got the face-off win for the Colonials, but possession over as it goes into the slot. Burkett there to keep it in at the blue line. Now Adams down low, trying to send it to Malloy in the middle. It was broken up. Now Burkett on the far side got a piece of it, but the Colonials control. Moving it forward, it's Hurst. Michael Hurst waits for his guys to get up there. The shot from the high slot goes into the safety netting. You see Gates a little puzzled on where it went, but into the safety of the netting for the whistle.
Yeah, of course, anything behind the goaltender is safety. Of course, not in the net. Behind them, still on the ice. But, like you said, the block shot by Jordan Adams shot it up into the net, and we'll see a defensive zone draw here for the Hawks.
IUP, despite normally playing on a regulation rink, and again, most of the off rinks that they visit are the Olympic-sized ones, they have had a lot of success in the Olympic rinks, and now with a 4-0 lead, you have to question, why are they so successful on such a bigger surface?
I think it's really just the basics. There's more ice to play with, and of course, they do a great job getting that puck into the corners whenever they're on the offensive pressure. Opens up a lot more passing lanes, shooting lanes, and certainly why the Crimson Hawks have success on the Olympic sheet. They simply just have more ice.
Now another whistle, 3 in a row for the Crimson Hawks, as they'll have to trot back to their own zone. Skate back, I should say. But with 4:47 to go in the second period, IUP trying to defend here. Johnston in the face-off dot, going up against Rorick, and it will be the Crimson Hawks controlling from it. Now this way the puck comes. Fairman couldn't handle it. Contact inside the blue line, and the two of them tied up once more. As a whistle will come in to try to separate the two of them. Double 2, single 3. Think Fairman will head off for the Crimson Hawks. We'll see if it goes the other way as well. And it looks like it will not. It'll be a 5-on-4 opportunity for the Colonials. Oh, the referee with a little more explanation. Nope, it'll be it'll be 4-on-4. Spoke a little too soon.
Of course, we were questioning it as well. Typically, they take both for retaliation as well, but it'll be 22 Matthew Perdue in the box for the Colonials, and of course, number 3 Hunter Fairman sitting for 2 minutes for the Crimson Hawks. And we're going to see some 4-on-4 hockey. The 4 out there for the Crimson Hawks or Zach Soy, Sean Donovan, Shane Miller, and Spencer Johnson.
Yeah, the two of them still jawing back and forth over there at the penalty box area. We'll see it if the puck comes out of the zone, but the Crimson Hawks not planning on letting that happen as they control it. Miller cycling down with it now. He has Donovan to his point, and that's where he will go with the puck. Sean Donovan with the spin move. Needs some more open ice. Sends one into the middle, trying to find the stick of Johnston, maybe even Soy cycling forward. And Shane Miller with a heck of a fight there to try to keep the play alive, but the defense had already left the zone, and we're ready to defend.
And we know Hunter Fairman will give it his all from the start of his shift towards the end. And even if it's on a 4-on-4 unit, he's going to do it out there as well.
A low pass sent in by Hambling. It was denied. Now a 2-on-1 the other way. Rorick has Hurst. That's where he tried to go with it, but the stick of Ziemba blocking that one and sending it to safety. Officially remaining on the 4-on-4, 45 seconds. All that remains. Maddox Rorick into the slot. His shot blocked by Finnegan in front. And now in the corner, he's tied up. Couldn't get back to the puck. And it comes back this way with 3 minutes to go in the period now. Moving in, blocked by Maddox Rorick. London moving up with the puck. Takes the shot, blockered away. Fresh off the bench, Dixon's shot also padded to the corner. Spencer Dixon with it now. Getting it back, trying to find London on the far side. Just out of reach. 10 seconds, 4-on-4 still remaining. As they move up with it, Isaac is stopped at the blue line. And now from behind the net, cleared all the way up ice, somehow kept in as fresh out of the penalty box and into the slot was the Colonial forward. Now a scramble drill in front of the net, and Gates able to stay in front of it throughout.
Of course, some pleasantries being exchanged after the whistle. Going to protect their man, Nathan Gates. Like you said, both men, was Perdue and Fairman, were antsy to get out of the box. And Perdue almost used that opportunity to his advantage coming right out of the box. But Gates stood tall and keeps the score where it's at.
It's got to be a point of frustration for the Crimson Hawks, and Fairman heading right off the bench. Of course, you draw that up as a coaching staff, but want to make sure you have enough guys in the zone to handle it, and Perdue certainly try to make his presence felt. Now a quick shot off the draw, glove down by Gates. In the corner, they play with it here, a turnover, and the shot goes wide as he was too short of the net to get it on Gates. Final 2 minutes of the second period. IUP with 2 goals in the period. The Colonials trying to claw back and get something going before the third period approaches. The interception on the pass leads to an IUP rush. Jace Rurick, his shot goes wide. It was blocked to the corner, and some extra fisticuffs afterwards here. Now the camera picking that up as Jace Rurick in the middle of it. And this is another instance where the Colonials and the Crimson Hawks have met as the Hawks enter the zone and were hit to the boards.
Yeah, like you said, they're still going at it, it seems like, in the corner. It's definitely a high-octane game. Very important if you take a look at the conference standings. Last night, the loss to West Virginia tied up the Crimson Hawks at the second place spot in the CHMA conference. Of course, they got 1 point in the overtime loss, but they're currently sitting, at 26 total points. And they'll need 2 clean points to head back into that second spot. Of course, the Colonials towards the bottom of the CHMA conference have something to say about that. And like I mentioned earlier, physicality starting to run over.
Well, it looks like Chase Malloy, the lone Hawk, heading to the near side of the screen. His period might be done a minute 47 early. We'll see if he returns for the third. And it's not unheard of for players to go off near the end of the period. One of those penalties. And, well, since you started the playoff discussion, I think we should talk about how crucial getting a point last night was. And coming down to the wire, getting that tie, forcing overtime, getting that 1 point is huge in their current playoff race. Is, like you said, 2 points tonight can jettison them up into sole possession of the second place spot.
Yeah, of course, we mentioned it last night, but the top 2 seeds in the CHMA conference will get a first-round bye in those playoffs. Currently sitting at the top is John Carroll University with 47 points. They're mathematically locked in for that first spot. And of course, Kent State, your IUP Hawks, the West Virginia Mountaineers, and the Duquesne Dukes all within 3 points of each other, and they're counting this game as 3 conference games left for the Crimson Hawks. So certainly 2 important points that they would like to walk out of this rink with tonight.
Again, IUP in a rough position as far as scheduling goes, and some external factors, and the fact that they have played less games than a lot of their opponents in their division. And so these games mean a lot more to the players on the bench, knowing that they have to make these points count and convert on the games that they haven't played yet.
Yeah, like you said, due to some scheduling issues, some early opponents in the season, of course, missed out on some crucial points. But next weekend they will face off again against CHMA rivals. It'll be Kent State University and John Carroll. Like I said, John Carroll is notched into that first spot, and they will stay there based on their schedule. They've played all of their games. But Kent State still fighting for that second spot.
Now the Colonials, again, like you said, lower on the standings. Points also crucial for them to get in the last couple weeks of play, as they defend at home. Off the wall, Richard Wild makes a nice hustle play to get the puck to the defender and get it clear in the opposite corner to kill more time off the clock. Now they start things up. Trying to move it up the wall is Hurst. And now the left winger into the zone. Into the boards on the near side. Crimson Hawks trying to stay aggressive, but Rohr comes away with possession, finds his man, and the backhander goes wide. I don't know if that was another passing attempt or not. We continue to play. Gates with the stop there. Now to the far corner. Cycling this way is Reed. His pass finds its way back out to the point. Back to Reed. In the face-off dot, into the middle, a wide open net, but a great defensive play by the captain, Soy, to keep the stick from pulling the trigger.
Yeah, like you said, he is just a cover athlete for a defensive defenseman. It was Garrett Walker in close. Still a lot of traffic in front. Garrett Walker, one of those as well. Lots of swatting towards the puck, as I mentioned. The captain, Zach Soy, doing his part and keeping the puck out of the net.
Yeah, IUP penalty killers, or the PPC penalty killers, as I should say, standing tall on that last opportunity. And you know the Colonials won a notch one near the end of this period, but I think the Crimson Hawks know that it is clutch in the final 2 minutes of the period to keep that puck away from the net.
Yeah, exactly. We saw it last night, but momentum plays a huge role going into the locker room. Of course, 30 seconds remain on that power play, 20 on the game clock. Hunter Fairman fights into the ozone.
And he fights for possession, getting it, and off the pad on the shot. Saved by Colburn. Huge hit there as Johnston trots the blue line. Limited time remaining in the period. He is called offsides after that aggressive play by Hunter Fairman.
A giant booming hit, like you said, in open ice from Hunter Fairman. Certainly still has some pent-up aggression, you could say, after he took that penalty earlier in the period. But he's definitely going to give it his all on every shift as well. Huge hit just to further the momentum before they head into the second intermission.
So Ziemba's clear will be controlled by Robert Morris University. And that is how we will exit the second period of play. So 2 quick goals in the opening 7 minutes of the period by Jace Rurick. Of course, notching the hat trick in the second period. IUP special teams also firing on all cylinders. And we haven't even gotten to the third yet. But that we will do in 15 minutes. Stay tuned. Two divisional teams taking back to the ice in the third final period of play. The Crimson Hawks shorthanded to start off this period just as they were in the second. But now in the third period, they have a larger lead. 4-0 it stands as Gates covers it early.
And like we mentioned before the break, we have a full 20 minutes here. The Crimson Hawks look to leave here with 2 clean points in the division to boost them back up to that second spot behind John Carroll University, who they will see next weekend. Of course, the Colonials looking to chip away at that 4-0 lead. We see Trent London head out of the box there to wrap up that first penalty that was assessed in the second period. We're back to 5-on-5.
Back in the Colonial zone, they don't have a lot of time to work with, like you said, already back to 5-on-5 action. As a whistle will stop play as it heads into the Colonial zone.
And also in the second period, we saw a couple of 10-minute game misconducts dished out. We see Chase Malloy is still in that penalty box. There's no time on the clock to see when that, of course, when that penalty will be over. But for now, we'll be 5-on-5. We'll wait to see. Oh, referee took that puck. Seems to be all right.
London takes a shot after a great feed from Maddox Rearick. He gets it back, and it's patted over the net and out of play by Colburn. Or excuse me, no, a goaltending change. It's Reno Patrick in there, number 31 for the Colonials.
Yeah, I just noticed the same time you did. It's going to be Reno Patrick coming into this game to close out against the Crimson Hawks. This is his 12th game this year, 2-7 record with an .883 save percentage. Looks to be their third guy in the rotation of goaltenders for the Colonials, but they're going to see if his mindset will be stronger against the Hawks, of course, than Colburn's was.
Shining chrome helmet, and see through the camera as well. Also indicative of the goaltender change. Gambling feeds one down low. And it comes back out to the far side. Shot, save by Patrick. And another stoppage here.
We know the Hawks love that short angle spot. We saw it sort of get picked a couple of times last night against the Colonials. Of course, Jace Rearick being the leader in that category of finding small windows for the puck to slide through. He's done it 3 times here tonight. Of course, we saw Ziemba take that shot on the short angle.
Ambling controls the bouncing puck through the neutral zone into his own ends. Ziemba controls on the far side. Back to Hambling. A minute and a half into this third period. He'll clear one down wide of the net. Getting there first, though, Hunter Fairman getting it into the slot. Johnston couldn't pull the trigger as it bounced off his stick. And now Miller tried to direct one back to Fairman. He was blocked. Now the second attempt, trying to come up the near wing. It's cleared by the Colonials into the IUP zone, where Sala will control there behind the net. Waiting for options to present themselves, and Fairman will take the puck himself, moving across the red line into the offensive end, trying to cut back inside. Saw the frustration that he played with in the second period, transitioned into a ton of physicality. But we certainly know that Hunter Fairman can turn that physicality into points, especially in the third period.
Yeah, like you mentioned, he remains the second leader in points for the Crimson Hawks. 28 points in 22 games, 21 of those coming from assists. Like you mentioned, the physicality certainly can flip. He's a huge playmaker for the Hawks. He laid that huge open ice hit to wrap up the second period. Like you said, he's coming out here with a little more aggression.
Of course, that goal-scoring upside is one of the reasons he transitioned back to winger, as he started the season as a forward, transitioned to defense, and now is back with the forward groups. Into the zone. Jace Rearick with the shot finds its way over top of the net. And now back the other way. Great stick checking there by London to track down his man and force the turnover. Adams cycles back with it. He's taken down inside of the blue line. Donovan finds Jace Rearick moving across the blue line into the offensive zone. He gets taken down as he was slashed up high. We'll see what the official call is as the linesman in the corner making the call. Slashing, indeed, the penalty against the Colonials.
And Jace Rearick on the receiving end of that slash, a little slow to get up. Well, he's skating back to the bench now. But for another time, we'll see the PPC power play for the Crimson Hawks. 2 men still sit in the Colonials box. Like I mentioned, the 10-minute game misconduct was initiated in the second period.
Yeah, and that was within the final 4 minutes of the period, so still a solid chunk to serve in both boxes. Both benches will be a little short to start off this period. Sent this way to Miller. Back out to the point. Fairman couldn't keep it in at the blue line, as the pass was just a little bit off the mark. And now he tries to find something, cycles back. Backhands one to Miller into the zone. And he will take it himself. Back out to the point. Fairman back to Miller. And the power play set up once again. Into the slot, off the skate of Adams, and Fairman with a diving play to keep it alive. He gets possession back, sends one down low, deflects, and somehow stayed out of the net, as reaching back was Patrick to swat it away from the goal line.
You know, like you said, Hunter Fairman, of course, diving to try and keep that puck in play, but he cut off the man and had that wide open look as Jordan Adams in front plays a great bump roll. Well, like you said, Neil Patrick saw it all the way through.
Yeah, that is the danger of playing aggressive with your penalty kill. And the Colonials will have to take a backseat here as the offense back into the zone. Fairman with another laser into the corner, but it's patted away, and that is where he will play it. Just off screen. He will leave it for Jace Rearick, who now takes it. Coming off the bench is Hambling, and his shot goes wide of the net. A pad save there by Patrick, as he has been active on this power play or penalty kill already. BPC power play up and running from the point, blocked in front, and the bouncing puck still bouncing around in the slot. And a whistle will stop play.
And I think the hand pass will be the call. You said it was Andrew Finnegan, the big body in front of the crease. You see on your screen there. Swatted it sort of out towards the point, but otherwise we'll see an offensive zone draw. 18 remain on this power play for the Hawks.
And you don't normally see the hand pass being called against the defending team in their own zone. But I think because, like you said, it was progressed near the point, that crossed the line. That being said, their penalty killing efforts, desperate at times, and gave up a couple shots, but they get their man back as it's 5-on-5 action as London heads it into the zone. Inside, or just over 5 minutes into this third period as it goes over the net. Rearick there will play it into the zone. A poke check by Johnson keeps it alive, and now London will follow it to the corner where possession goes over. It'll be Dobransky moving the puck up ice. It's intercepted in the neutral zone. Hambling with a nice stick play to keep it alive at the red line, and Boker will finish the clear. Now the puck coming up center ice to the far side. Backhander into the middle, intercepted by Wild as he bats it back into the zone. Wild having a great two-way weekend as a forward.
Yeah, he's been super effective on that forecheck and the back check. Plays a great neutral zone game.
Oh, he has the back check here as the offense into the zone, and they score. The Colonials get a goal in response, and on the doorstep somehow finding a window in the 5-hole region. Leading his men to the bench, and it'll be Garrett Walker with the first Colonial goal of the game coming in the third period.
And Garrett Walker certainly has not been quiet on the ice tonight. Has gotten in a few scrums, been playing a very physical game. It was a great scrappy game in front of the net as well, and he did just that there. Of course, the Colonials avoid the shutout.
And that they do against Ethan Gates. Certainly not easy to score on 5-0 as they've already experienced through the first two periods, but they finally get a measure of revenge here. And now the offense starting to heat up as they try to pass one into the slot. It was defended out of the zone by Maddox Rearick. He pleads his case, and at least the Colonials respected it and didn't touch the puck. Now the other way, it's Loza. Takes the shot, and a ripper goes wide, and by the looks of it, out of play.
A scary shot off the blade with Matthew Loza. Of course, he has that lethal wrist shot, especially in close. He was all alone there. Picked his spot. Like you said, Reno Patrick has been doing a great job since he's entered the game in the third period. He stopped every shot that he's faced so far.
London receives the face-off win. His shot blocked to the corner. Man tied up in front in the clear. Gets out to the neutral zone. Burkett firing one in. It skipped over the stick of London. An unfortunate bounce there in the neutral zone results in an IUP icing. And the puck all the way back down in front of Gates.
See, this is a huge opportunity here for the Colonials. Of course, still down 3, but they get the face-off in their own zone. It's a must-win draw here, and they do just that and look to set up.
Rorick's shot right off the draw. Finds its way through traffic and into the glove of Gates. And those quick shots off the face-off are not easy to defend, but sometimes they're even harder to get the puck on the net. As they get the face-off win here. Burkett behind the net with a backhander, able to find Rarick in stride on the right wing. Alex Rarick's pass to Loza was intercepted, and the clear finds its way to Hurst in the other end. Burkett with a nice block there, can't get the second one, and Rarick gets a second one for the Colonials. It's 4-2. It's just like that, the Hawks' lead is cut in half by Robert Morris University.
See, I mentioned that golden opportunity, of course, that the Colonials had in their own zone. They certainly capitalized on it, and they starting to shift that momentum that the Crimson Hawks once had at the beginning of the period back towards the middle of the ice. Only a 2-goal deficit now for the Colonials. As they start to claw back, we see assistant coach Dom Glavich exchanging words with the officials as he seems to disagree with the missed call after that goal.
And I read his lips at first. It looked like he said offsides. Again, from up here, our angle is definitely skewed. And while we're on that subject, might as well talk about the conditions for the broadcast. Obviously, between two stanchion in the windows and through a glass pane. Of course, we are happy to bring you this game from the Island Ice Complex at Robert Morris University, where the home team has gotten within 2 goals in the opening 7 minutes of the third period. And possession over once more. Of course, the coach is preaching that the neutral zone play has to get better. Now in the defensive end, a turnover sent back in where Hambling will control in the corner. Fans on the clearing attempt this way. A backhander in, blocked by Hambling. And now his stretch pass will find Miller right on the tape. Jay Miller tried to dance on the inside, cut back out. And the puck tied up to the corner. Comes out, Patrick will hold on. And it'll be another whistle, 12 and a half to go.
Yeah, 2 dangerous forwards heading down into the offensive zone. That was Hunter Fairman and Shane Miller, the top 2 scorers for the Crimson Hawks. Of course, opportunity snuffed out by Andrew Finnegan. Of course, I've mentioned his names multiple times tonight. That huge defenseman uses his size to his advantage.
Fairman with that quick shot off the draw, finally handled, and the rebound was shot back on, sent to the corner and cleared. Now there, Johnston will leave it for Miller. This way it comes to Fairman. The puck back into the slot. It was tipped on the way. Luckily, Donovan, responsible at the red line, able to send it back into the zone. Now to start things there, Finnegan hassled by Miller there. He'll have to circle back. Of course, the forward trying to take up as much time as the clock is in IUP's favor and certainly against the Colonials. With 11:40 to go in the third period, it is certainly a tight hockey game once again with the momentum swinging in RMU's favor. Back on offense. Into the zone, blocked to the corner by Soy. Nice physical play in the corner to jar the puck loose and eventually get the clear down ice. London going to beat his man to the puck. Not physically, but enough for the referees to negate the icing. Now Dobransky hit against the boards by Dixon. And now Rorick with the puck. One-on-one opportunity. 2-on-1 for the Colonials if he had elected to pass. Instead, the shot on a weird angle goes into the safety netting for a pause.
Like you said, that 2-on-1 opportunity kick started by, of course, another huge defenseman for the Colonials. That is Nicholas Dobransky. Huge in size, and we saw him sort of galloping through the neutral zone to, of course, enter the O-zone. Kick started that last rush.
Now in the face-off dot, Jace Rurik gets the win for IUP. London will cycle it back to his own end. Behind his own goal line with it now is Sala. He's hassled. Spins around, some separation. He finds Jace Rurik, who tries to progress it up ice, and he will just hammer one as far as he can, but it stays inside the blue line. Sala below the goal line with it once more. Now to Adams on the near side. Turnover and a deflection in front. Gates with a great reaction to keep that puck out. And a dangerous opportunity there as holding his head down is Brandon Martin.
Yeah, like you said, Braden Martin looking to just sort of guide that puck from the spot that he was at. Of course, that far post was open. Like you said, Gates stopped the initial puck, and that secondary shot was right into his chest.
Close in shot at that. When the Colonials have had opportunities, they have been within 3 feet of the blue paint. And Gates has been up to the challenge on most of them. Now he needs to see his team to the win at the end of it. Drop back, and the drop pass was unable to find its target as Nathan Isaac back to control for the Colonials. Isaac still fighting for the puck. A poke check to Rorik did not make it there. And now possession going every which way in the neutral zone. Backhanded into the zone by, of course, Wild, who picks apart that play. Now Boker in the offensive end try to direct one to the middle. Hambling played aggressive on that one. Gates out of his net to play it. Now off the boards. He will find Hambling on the near side, directing it to Ziemba with a little bit more space behind the net.
Hambling pinned his man down to the ice. Of course, Michael Hurst, that top forward, sort of tackled him down to the ice at that. And he's certainly going to serve some time in the sin bin for that as he heads Eric Hambling.
And these are the type of plays that the Colonials started to experiment with in the second period. Obviously, both teams started getting chippy, but in the third period especially, that discipline needs to stay at an elite level, or else they're giving up odd man opportunities. And with 9:41 to go in the third period, this power play could be a momentum sider on both sides of the puck.
Yeah, certainly keep using this word, the golden opportunity. This is the biggest opportunity that the Colonials have had all night. They're going to need to convert on this power play. They want to swing the momentum back the other direction.
Oh, at the blue line, they play with it. Fairman with a great stick there as he uses his long reach to interrupt it and eventually getting the clear. I believe that was Donovan who found its way to the, or got the puck to the opposite end of the ice. Well, starting things up from their own face-off dot. Pausing for his options and giving it across to the middle. Now off the skates and taking it forward is Rorik. He has Hurst behind him. He's going to leave it for the point man as Hurst takes it to the far corner. Walker with it there. Back across Moran. Finds Hurst again. Shot comes in. Deflects in front. Loose puck there. And a beautiful stick by Johnston to send that to the corner. Now the pressure not up yet. Donovan directing the stick back to Gates, who is actually using a player's stick right now in the crease as Soy will trade off with the goaltender and get his stick back.
Yeah, we saw that stick exchange, like you mentioned, certainly a scary opportunity for Gates. So he had that smaller blade of a skater's stick, and the puck was fumbling in front. You definitely need that bigger blade to help corral those pucks, but Gates stood tall for the challenge.
Now to the far side. Walking inside is Purdue as he sends it down for Moran, who has possession stripped, and Burkett will fire one around the reverse ice, but it is intercepted and flagged down. Sent to the far side. Now to the point. Finnegan shot, glove down by Gates, and no rebound given up.
Yeah, sort of an effortless one-timer from Finnegan. Of course, has that size to his advantage and sort of put all of his weight into the flex of his stick and just fired it right at Gates, but saw it all the way through. 17 seconds remain on that minor that was assessed to Eric Hambling. Certainly the Hawks looking to get back to 5-on-5 hockey.
Aggression here after the faceoff. The Crimson Hawks can't claim possession as it's sent into the corner. Burkett there to battle for the puck. Now cleared up to Finnegan from the point. His shot once again gloved down by Gates. And with 1 second on the PPC penalty kill, the Crimson Hawks looking to continue their perfect stretch on special teams, defending the power play.
And certainly that last shot again, Finnegan from the point. Shots that Nathan Gates has to like. No traffic in front, can see it all the way through and gloved it down. It looks like the pleasantries after the whistle have dissipated. 1 second remains on that penalty assessed Eric Hambling, and we'll get back to 5-on-5 hockey. We'll trade out, and Shane Miller will be the fifth man on.
Hambling does head out of the bench, I should say, as the penalty kill expires. Colonials unable to convert on a possibly momentum-swinging power play. Of course, the penalty killers with some added confidence after defending some high-quality opportunities. And so this game still plays on. Just over 7 minutes in the third period. Behind the net, play goes over. Sent into the middle. Walker's pass found the stick of a streaking forward and the glove of Gates again with a reactionary play. And Nathan Gates' positioning tonight has been phenomenal and is a huge reason why the Crimson Hawks have a 2-goal lead and have been able to sustain it.
Exactly that. Fantastic stop by Gates. Like you mentioned, he was sliding from post to post. Certainly the 5-hole was open. He used the glove to trap it down. Still fumbling in front, but it was Zach Soy that cleared it all the way down the ice. We have that draw in the defensive zone for the Hawks, and they win it, looking to push it back up.
And Johnston with an emphatic face-off win at that. As now play comes out of the corner and moves up ice within the final 7 minutes of play. Now to Fairman. He leaves it for Shane Miller with a nice move to find some space. Takes the shot, and it's into the logo and glove of the netminder.
And we saw that quick one-touch pass from Hunter Fairman in the middle of the ice. Directed Shane Miller all the way down that right wing, and he had the high slot one-on-one. Of course, Reno Patrick gloved it down. We'll see the offensive zone draw. It's that second line of forwards that are out there now for the Hawks. Matthew Loza, Maddox Rearick, and Trent London. And the blue liners there, Sean Donovan and Zach Soy.
And Donovan with that shot there from the point. He had Maddox Rearick cycling up, but he wasn't in position to be able to tip that puck. The Crimson Hawks have already had one redirected goal this game. And they're trying to figure out Patrick, who has not given up anything since joining the play in the early third period.
Yeah, of course, that was a lot of the game plan for the Crimson Hawks was to get traffic in front, even though 3 of the goals came from the stick of Jace Rearick, of course. But Reno Patrick doing his work so far, and since he's entered the game, has shut out the Hawks.
Soy with a backhander progresses it further down into the zone, and he will head off for a line change. Crimson Hawks with a very conservative approach in the offensive zone, which is adverse to what we saw in the second period. You wouldn't expect anything less from a team entering with such a lead in the third.
Yeah, we know they're a fairly offensive team. They whistle that down as offsides. As I was saying, very aggressive in that offensive zone. They get the puck in deep where they need to. But like you said, they're just nursing this 2-goal lead, 5:48 remaining on the game clock. And they're looking to walk out of here with 2 clean points, as I mentioned earlier.
You can tell the Crimson Hawks that they have converted on a lot of cross-ice passes and long stretch plays, are keeping the play to the outside now, and as we discussed, just trying to sit on this lead. Jace Rearick into the zone, across the blue line, takes the shot, it deflects off the stick of Finnegan and into the safety netting for a stoppage.
We know Jace Rearick typically elects to shoot on those 2-on-1 opportunities, but he did have Jordan Adams streaking down in that opposing slot. Of course, elected to shoot, was deflected up into the netting. That line will stay out and win the draw. Finds Boker.
Burkett inside the blue line. And his shot is gloved down and stopped. No rebound given up. Let's see who else stays out there on this forward line. It's Jace Rearick Adams and Malloy, which is a different look to what we saw earlier in the game. Of course, they are trying to keep possession in the zone, and it comes down to that face-off win. Unable to get it, but the clear ends up on the stick of Ziemba, who will move it forward. Rurick got a piece of it. Malloy with a kick finds Ziemba, and he will take it into the zone. Taking the shot, goes to the right side of the net. Unsuccessful on that attempt. And now the puck out of the zone on the stick of a Colonial, moving up the right wing. We get his Walker as he is hammered against the boards. Adams now on the backhand, moving it to the forehand for a quick shot. It stays in play off the glass. Possession the other way in favor of the Colonials. Into the zone, sending it this way. Rurick sending one in front, and Gates left the door open. But luckily, the pass couldn't connect.
He had Garrett Walker on the receiving end of that cross-crease pass. Well, like you said, the great play by the captain, Zach Soy, disrupting it and lifting that stick. Keeps the score where it's at.
Yeah, he has made those plays time and time again this evening. As we enter the latter stages of the first day of February, and the Crimson Hawks trying to start this month off right. Of course, any games this time of year have playoff implications, and this one no different. Glove down, and a stoppage.
As I mentioned earlier, including this game, 3 conference games remain for the Crimson Hawks. Next weekend, back at the bank, they will face the Ohio squads. It'll be Kent State and John Carroll University. 2 heavy-hitting teams at that, and have a tall task in front of them to walk out of there with 4 clean points in the division.
Yeah, the following week, again, not the end of the season just yet. The Crimson Hawks will have to head on the road against the University of Rhode Island, which is a powerhouse in and of themselves up in the Northeast. So it will be a long bus ride on Valentine's Day weekend. We will be happy to bring you those 2 games. And then following, the Crimson Hawks will head to the playoffs. And the seeding, of course, hinging on the result of these games over the next couple of weeks. Cleared into the zone, it's going to be icing against IUP. And with 3:50 to go in the third period, Colonials with another offensive draw.
Yeah, like you mentioned, we see the Crimson Hawk coaching staff. They're going to call for their timeout here with 3:48 remaining. But certainly the Rhode Island matchup in the back of the minds of that coaching staff. Currently sit at second place, Rhode Island, in their ESCHL division, only behind the University of Delaware, who, of course, we saw earlier in the semester, and they were a tough group as well. The Rhode Island squad sits 16-8, their record, 28 games played, 36 points in their division. So certainly a great matchup against them nearing. I'm excited for that one.
Especially if the Crimson Hawks can build some momentum this weekend, they will be able to use it next weekend and hopefully continue that throughout the remainder of the season. Of course, part of that is making sure you guys are well rested and they can continue to defend this league, or this lead, I should say. And a smart play by the coaching staff as well. You're heading into the final couple minutes of the game, have a timeout in your back pocket. Why don't you take it on an icing?
Yeah, exactly that. Doesn't look like much strategic talk on that bench. Certainly just giving their men a break. We're going to see it's going to be that second line of forwards out there for the Hawks. Trent London, Matthew Loza, and Maddox Rurick, the defenseman out there as well. Going to be Eric Hambling and Kyle Ziemba.
Yeah, I love when the timeouts are 5 seconds of go out there and keep doing the same thing, and then 55 seconds of water break. Of course, the players appreciate it the most down there. It has been a hard-fought match between these two teams. They have a rich playoff history as well. Of course, their most recent game went in IUP's favor back at home earlier in the year, much earlier in the year. Now on the road, the Crimson Hawks trying to take care of business. A clear by Ziemba will split the D and head all the way down the ice for an icing against IUP with 3:20 to go in the period.
We take a look at the history between these two squads. The last 5 games against these two teams, 4-1 the Hawks are. Of course, they're looking for their 5th win here tonight. And that last time they faced off November 15th, that ended in a 7-3 victory for the Crimson Hawks. Like we said earlier, the hat trick for Matthew Loza.
And Loza trying to catch up to this puck here. A one-on-one play, and the puck is loose in the corner as the netminder out of position. Ziemba with a nice poke to keep it in the offensive zone and keep the pressure on for the Hawks. Inside of the final 3. And taken down at the blue line, and a bouncing puck finds its way all the way through. Gates with an aggressive play himself. He missed it on the poke check. Luckily, the pad was in position to make the save regardless. Now Reed with it in the corner, cycling up to the blue line, and a calm play by London to chip it through the neutral zone. But the Colonials getting right back on their horse and moving it up ice. He drops it, and Hurst's attempt is swatted back to the neutral zone. Battle for it there, sent into the IUP end. Hambling will control behind the net with 2 minutes to go in the period. Certainly no rush to move this forward, as the pass missed its mark and went all the way down to be icing. Now, with just over 2 minutes to go in the period, is this a 6-on-5 opportunity where RMU pulls their goalie?
Yeah, it looks like Reno Patrick will stay in the net. Also, Colonials coaching staff still have a timeout in their toolbox. If they get another play stoppage, that is. 2:08 remains on the game clock. Like you said earlier, the Crimson Hawks looking to just control the puck. Well, let's see, they're going to take their timeout there. Right on cue, of course. But Crimson Hawks look to just control the puck, keep it in their own zone if they need to, and run this game clock out.
A little bit more strategy for the Colonials and in the Hawks timeout, as they will gather in front of the bench and receive direction on how to handle the final 2 minutes of play. And they fought back in this third period, and looking at the midway point of the second, we thought the Hawks were going to run away with this one, and instead the Colonials fought back. They started forcing more turnovers in the neutral zone, and it has been a gritty game since.
Yeah, like you said, the neutral zone game certainly played a huge role in that second period. Of course, the Crimson Hawks offense very effective early in the game. Maddox Rierick with that first goal, and then it was all Jace Rierick after that. 3 more for him, the hat trick still, but no more scoring since that last goal from Jace Rierick. 4-2 still sits the score. It's going to be a tall task in front of the Colonials, but they definitely have the time on their side if they need it.
Hawks trying to exit the weekend 1-0-1 against divisional opponents. And so much hinging on the final 2 minutes of this game, especially for RMU. If they want to keep their playoff hopes alive and get better seeding, they got to get on their horse and get 2 in the final 2:08 of this game. Staying out there, as we noted, is Reno Patrick. We'll keep an eye on the crease. I'm sure we will let you know when he heads to the bench. But until then, the Crimson Hawks control off the draw. The bouncing puck was unable to be progressed by Miller. He'll just clear it all the way down. And now it's Isaac behind the net. A turnover and a goal by Shane Miller. Is that a backhander or a bank shot off of Patrick? Either way, the Crimson Hawks blow this game wide open with some Miller magic in front of the net.
Yeah, like you said, it was a weird shot from behind. Of course, Patrick had no idea where it was. Slid in that small little window from behind. Advances the score 5-2. Shane Miller continues his hot streak of a season. And marks his 21st goal of the year, 36 points. He'll keep climbing the ranks of those forwards.
So the gritty play around the crease pays off with a point for the Crimson Hawks forward. And now some physical play by Soy in the neutral zone, trying to shake things up. The IUP bench looking for a trip after that last contact. No avail. Bouncing puck heads into the IUP zone below the goal line. Physical play for the puck here as Burkett gets to the stick and actually got the stick up in his neck area. Dangerous play there against the defender. Gates covers and gets a much-needed whistle. A minute and 20 to go in the period. The frustration starting to boil over for the Colonials. You saw the little bit more than a face wash there results in Miller's helmet being removed. We look to the penalty boxes. Of course, the boxes have been cleared from the earlier 10-minute that each team had to serve. And so we'll see who gets the ice time in this final minute and 20. So some discussion after the scrum and some communication both ways. No penalties showing up on the board. I don't believe anybody's night necessarily ended. Not the Colonials. Only a minute and 20 from that fate. They need to get one here. They're not going to do it with an IUP clear down the ice. Now it is icing against the Crimson Hawks, so they'll have another offensive draw. As IUP will slow their steps on their way to the face-off dot and try to get a little bit more breather before the final push. Really comes down to the Colonials getting this face-off and keeping the pressure on. With how tight the Crimson Hawks have played, I don't know if the Colonials will find much separation unless they pull that goalie. And with 3 goals down, there's less and less of an option. Dixon finds Burkett on the far side. His backhander bounces into the skate and kicked into the zone by a Colonial forward. Hit along the boards. Turnover forced by Jace Rurik. Manhandled his man in the next to the net. And Malloy sees it to the left wing. He gets it back. Tries to backhand one on the net. And a shot block in front results in the puck bouncing in front of the blue paint. Chaos here as Hambling's shot was blocked. Never made its way through to Patrick. He was there for the save nonetheless. Jace Rurik with a nice stutter step moving right. Wraps one back to Malloy and a whistle as contact in front of the net will force a draw. I don't know who initiated it. Of course, the Colonials needed a whistle in the final 30 seconds. I wouldn't be surprised if this was an intentional penalty type play. Try to get the whistle. Of course, fouling out more of an option in basketball than hockey. Yeah, we'll see what the jury is.
Like we said, time certainly not in the favor of the Colonials. It's going to be Braden Martin, I believe, that his night is going to be over.
And he will as he takes the long walk around the rink. The head off 22 seconds early. The Crimson Hawks will head to the PPC power play once more. As it was Matthew Purdue that headed off and was the guilty party. And he is the only one to sit. So 2 minutes on the board for the Crimson Hawks. They won't need it. With 22 seconds left in the game, they will get the face-off win and hopefully just trot this one out. Burkett from the point. Has it here, trying to set it up. Gives it to Sala on the far side, back to Boker. Now Sala takes the deflected pass. Gets it to Burkett on the near side. His shot goes wide of the net, off the skate of Burkett. And with 3 seconds left, or Poker, excuse me, with 2 seconds left, they get a shot on. But that will do it for IUP against RMU. IUP jumped out to an early lead and really dominated for most of this game, but in the third period, the Colonials got a couple measures of revenge. It wasn't until that 5th goal that went in that the Crimson Hawks could truly breathe a sigh of relief and look forward to next weekend. But before we do that, we got to look at the 3 stars of the game, Josh.
Of course, yeah, I've been thinking about it these last couple minutes, and I think we have to give the 3rd star here tonight to Nathan Gates. Stood on his head, only 2 goals allowed, and of course kept his men in the game throughout the entire night. The 2nd star is going to go to Maddox Rurik. He had that initial goal, started the scoring for the Crimson Hawks, and none other, the 1st star has to go to the man Jace Rurik with the hat trick, 3 goals that of course notched them to 4 total and sealed this game away.
Oh, it's always nice to get the hat trick on the road, and the Crimson Hawks will hopefully carry that momentum. We saw goals, impressive goals up and down the lineup this weekend. And hopefully the Crimson Hawks can continue next week. But until then, I've been Alex Donaldson alongside Josh Yates for IUP Hockey. We thank you for watching. Roll Hawks, and we'll see you all.